Imagine a bustling apartment shared by four different people. You have the early bird, the night owl, the neat freak, and the messy artist. To make this work, everyone has to chip in for the big stuff. They pool their money to pay the rent, keep the roof over their heads, and make sure the Wi-Fi is fast enough for everyone to use. But that teamwork stops at the bedroom door. Once you cross that threshold, you are the absolute boss of your own space. You can paint the walls neon green or leave your clothes on the floor, and nobody else gets a say. Living together peacefully relies on these two things happening at once: collective responsibility for the whole house and absolute personal freedom inside your own room. This exact roommate dynamic is how 40% of the people on Earth are governed today. Political scientists call this system federalism. It is an ancient concept, originally based on treaties, but now the primary tool used to manage the complexity of modern societies. Just like those roommates, entire regions choose to team up to tackle massive national goals, while they fiercely protect the unique traditions and identities of their local towns and states. The first pillar of federalism is shared rule, which is essentially the living room of a nation. We need a central government to handle the heavy logistical chores that a single town could never manage, like printing a national currency, organizing a military, or signing treaties. The second pillar is self-rule, which acts like that private bedroom. Power branches out to regional governments, like states or provinces. These local hubs are empowered to manage the daily realities of their communities, funding local schools, paving neighborhood roads, and preserving their distinct cultural heritage. Establishing these two distinct pillars prevents a distant, out-of-touch central authority from micromanaging the quiet, day-to-day lives of local citizens. With two powerful levels of government operating at the same time, you might wonder how they avoid fighting over who is in charge of what. The solution is a formal, written constitution. It acts as the ultimate, legally binding roommate agreement. To prevent guessing games, a constitution divides powers into rigid lists. The national list outlines exclusive federal duties, while the local list guarantees regional powers. The shared list is where both levels actively cooperate, like a shared kitchen. This written protection makes federalism unique. It ensures local powers are a permanent right, rather than just a temporary permission slip from a central authority. We contrast federalism with a unitary system. Here, power sits at the top of a rigid pyramid, flowing strictly downward. That structure works for some, but it can fracture when governing a deeply diverse population with competing local needs. Political scientist Daniel Elazar suggested thinking of federalism as a campfire. In this model, different groups sit together as equals. They share the warmth of national unity while safely occupying their own distinct spaces around the circle. Federalism provides a practical political tool to guarantee national unity without demanding cultural uniformity from everyone. You can see this concept grounded in the physical world. This is the Indian Parliament building, where these complex negotiations take place today. From India to the Brazilian National Congress, these frameworks operate across vastly different cultures and continents. These frameworks function as an ongoing trust exercise. Communities must rely on one another, continuously negotiating where personal space ends and shared space begins. Next time you hear politicians arguing about states' rights versus federal law, don't feel overwhelmed. Those complex political debates are simply a nation figuring out what belongs in the living room and what stays in the bedroom.